Hi there, everyone. It is currently the 4th of November 2013, and out here in the Western Pacific, three areas we are continuing to keep an eye on. But the main topic of today's update is going to be our newest tropical storm, Haiyan. I also do want to talk quickly first about, well, what's left of Krosa. That has continued to fall apart here, and actually, most of the moisture, kind of like somebody just taking their hand and smearing it towards the northeast, has been pulled off here, and it's creating some cloudy skies all the way from the southern Japanese islands there into western Honshu and even across Tokyo. Pretty gloomy day on tap today. Nothing too severe, but do not be surprised if you see some isolated to passing showers here on Monday morning. It should be clearing out by the afternoon and evening hours for the most part. Taiwan also seeing some showers there. Meanwhile, we have our latest tropical depression named by the Philippines. Japan Meteorological Agency says there's nothing there actually over the Philippines, and it would have taken the name Haiyan, but our other storm system out here near the Marshall Islands has done exactly that. But as far as Pagasa, though, it is being called Wilma, Tropical Depression Wilma. Is Wilma a big threat as far as winds and organizing into a typhoon? No, no, no. I'm actually very, very confident this one will not get very much stronger. Maybe a weak tropical storm. As you can see here on the satellite picture, very disorganized cloud cover. Model pickup is really not there as well. It's not developing at all too much. We can see here from the JTWC, they expect it to remain a weaker storm. Actually, looking at maxing out as a tropical storm, about 55, gusting up to 70 knots, but that's over the South China Sea, not impacting the Philippines. Then we're actually going to be seeing a little bit of a weakening before it moves into southern Vietnam. And model consensus also holds that ground, basically tracking towards the west under the same steering influence as we're seeing with our other storm system, and moving into southern Vietnam as a tropical storm. So big rainmaker with this one is 30W or Wilma, being named here by the Philippines. If JMA does decide to upgrade it to a tropical storm, which at this time I don't really see it. It's very disorganized. If it does, it won't be until later this week. It will be called Poto. Now, right now, it is over the Philippines. Like I said, a big rainmaker here. We'll be tracking towards the west along the southern periphery of the high-pressure ridge off here towards the north. And then it's going to be a big rainmaker for Vietnam. Possible flooding and landslides with it. So something we want to continue to watch. Tropical Depression Wilma. This is the big topic today, though, and as far as the threat to losses of lives out here in the tropics this coming week, and I think potentially one of the most dangerous storm systems, and that's me going off the deep end. If you watch my video updates, I'm typically conservative with wording like that, but I think that this is going to be potentially the most dangerous storm system of 2013. It's right here towards the southeast of Guam, moving over the eastern portions of the Caroline Islands. Already seeing this storm begin its genesis. We're seeing some pretty decent circulation around it. It's actually eerily familiar with BOFA from last year in several aspects. One being how far south it is forming out here. Farther south than 10 degrees north. You say 10 degrees north, you lack Coriolis. But we have seen out here in the Western Pacific, that's not always the case. If it's north of 5, we can actually get a good spin up, especially if everything else is in play, and we have a lot of other stuff in play. Good exhaust aloft, an abundant amount of moisture. We're also seeing low vertical wind shear, and you can see all this convection just continuing to pile on in the storm. So with that said, where exactly is it going to be going? And that's the biggest question. Well, at least at this time, Yap and Palau, you're going to be in the crosshairs of this one. The high pressure ridge off towards the north, this so dominant right now. You can see these areas in blue, and it's not going anywhere quick. This is not one of those mid-latitude systems like we have those troughs and ridges that push through if we were talking about an Okinawa storm, for example. But that high pressure ridge just sits there. So this is going to track west along the southern periphery of it, become a straight runner is what we call it, and basically move out there towards Visayas, northern Mindanao, or southern Luzon. The exact location will get pinpointed down here probably in the next 48 hours. But for now, from northern Mindanao all the way up to southern Luzon, including Manila, you're looking at a possible strong typhoon. Now, with that said, it's very warm sea surface temperatures down here. Like I said, there's a lot of ingredients in place, so this could be developing quite rapidly. Let's take a look at what the official agency says at Japan Meteorological Agency going out through the next 5 days. Now, this is by Friday morning. They're expecting a landfalling system right there around Leyte and Samar, pushing on shore. That's basically where the model consensus is. Like I said, somewhere between Mindanao and southern Luzon. That would basically put it right along this line. The key thing is, though, they have it intensifying, But take a look out to this by the 7th. So right here, once it's over basically Yap, they're looking at a fairly strong typhoon at 70, gusting up to 100 knots. The JTWC equivalent is typically stronger than that, so you're looking at possibly a Category 2 tropical system maybe here as it pushes over these islands just towards the east of the Philippines. And what I mean by JTWC is often stronger, I mean, just take a look at this 700, 105, gusting up to 130 knots. So they're often quite stronger on their intensity as far as they forecast it. And sometimes it's correct, and also it's because they base on a smaller wind scale, Vice JMA's 10-minute. But regardless, still both are going to bring in some strong winds there towards the Caroline Islands from Yap and Palau as it does push overhead. And then over towards Leyte and Samar, you're going to be looking at, well, a very, very intense storm system. And that is the scary factor of this. 125 gusting to 150 knots at landfall. This is from JTWC. They're being a little bit modest, actually, on those max winds. If we take a look at some of the model outlooks, actually GFS being the most bullish at landfall, they expect a stronger system. Now, prior to landfall, I actually think it's going to be a little bit stronger for those of you in Yap and Palau. It should be a little bit stronger by this point. You're possibly going to be seeing a severe tropical storm or a typhoon as it pushes overhead here by Wednesday evening, or the afternoon, the evening hours, and then into midnight. Palau, including those of you in Koror, you're going to be impacted by some pretty strong winds and some heavy rainfall as this does push just there towards the north. If it wavers farther towards the south, it could be a big game changer for these islands out here. Remember last year at Bofa, this got a pretty good storm surge on the northern periphery. You're going to be seeing something very similar, especially on the west coast if it does take this track just there towards the north. Yap, on the other hand, right front quadrant, it's going to be coming in from the east. That's where you could be seeing the worst of the storm surge and plus some heavy rainfall. So both of these islands, yeah, you want to watch this, and you want to watch this very closely and just get ready here by Wednesday morning. Just hunker down and wait for the storm to pass. Looking at a pretty strong typhoon. But like I said, the dangerous factor is once it enters the Philippine Sea here, this is an area that is prone to rapid intensification, and GFS is picking up on that rapid intensification. And take a look at this right there around Leyte, Samar again. You have a fairly violent typhoon coming on shore. This is going to be packing winds up to about Category 3 to Category 4, and some people are saying Category 5 equivalent. I'm not saying that will happen, but I am saying it cannot be completely ruled out. And then, as we go ahead, take a look at this. Actually, I went a little bit too far. It pushes just south of Manila. If it wavers farther there towards the north, Manila could be seeing some typhoon strength winds along with a heavy rainfall as well. So if you are in Manila, just get ready by basically Friday evening into Saturday morning. It's going to be a rough year for you. And what I mean by rough is the high winds, the heavy rainfall, and the basically rough seas out here. Fishermen, just don't venture out. If you know somebody that's a fisherman, just stay in. Starting on Thursday, it's going to be some waves up to about 9 to 10 meters high possibly ahead of this. Now, this is from the NavGem. Now, I was just showing you the GFS. They're showing a very similar output, but basically directly over Manila in the long range as a, I don't like using the term, but super typhoon is what the Americans call it. We would call it a violent typhoon according to the Japan Meteorological Agency. So a lot of stuff happening with this one. And then beyond the Philippines, it potentially is going to be a violent typhoon pushing towards Vietnam. Still very long range on that, but the dynamics are in place by the end of next week, and that we could be seeing a very violent storm there as well. So Typhoon Haiyan, also being known as Typhoon Sanju, if you're out here in Japan, and if you are in the Philippines, it will be given the name Typhoon Yolanda as once it pushes off here towards the west and starts to enter the Philippine area of responsibility. So that is all for right now, though, everybody, and thanks again for watching this whole 9-minute long update. Please let me know if you did in the comment section down below, and as always, stay safe out there.